a good round of applause for my friend, good friend, Liles. God is good. God is good. See, a lot of people, I love hip-hop and I love God. And I'm still cool. So I'm going to try to really speak from my heart right now. Good morning. It's great to be back in Philly. Of course, I'd like to thank my good friend Patrick. Now, give a big round of applause for Liles and everything they do. I still want to read English and to close Patrick for me. In the great city of Philly. I did a lot of work down here in Philly. I'm from Baltimore, which is right up the street, we're right down the street from you guys, and I used to work this region along with my good friend Mike McCarthy. When I think about Philly, the first thing that comes to my mind is a kid named Will Smith. Will had a dream, but more importantly, he had a vision. His vision was not to be a rapper. If you talk to Will, his vision was to entertain the world. Will made about $20 million a picture now. When I think about Philly, I think about the movie Rocky. Not 1, not 2, but 3, 4, and 5. I think about how he got knocked down, but still had the faith and strength to get up and become the heavyweight champion of the world. When I think about Philly, I think about my good friend Dr. J. Now, Dr. J had skills on the court, but he also had the mindset at an early time in his life to invest in quote-unquote PA sports. And the game NBA 2K, he was one of the first investors, not only in the game, but he also invested in the game. When I think about Philly, and you guys might not know him, but his name was Dick Clark. Dick Clark used to go into the club scene and say, hey, why not take what's happening in the club and put it on TV? And they call it American Bandstand. When I think about Philly, I think about my mom. She's not really my mom, but she's everybody's mom, Patty LaBelle. She said, when birds fly high, why can't I? And because I'm hip-hop, now when I think about Philly, I think about these girls who said, I'm a boss. I'm a boss. Because that's the generation I came up. Now, when I got the call from my good friend, Rick Ramsey, Mayor Nutter, and Patrick, and they told me about this Village Green project, I was thrilled to come and speak to the future of Philadelphia. I stand here in front of you more committed than ever to make a difference and to help you find your purpose in life. So, I wrote a book in 2005 called Make It Happen. I actually spoke at Temple University, and I said there's 3 kinds of people. People that make it happen, people that watch it happen, and people that things happen to. You have to figure out today what kind of person you are. Do you make it happen? Do you watch things happen? Or do things just happen to you? I'm currently reading a book, and I'm not asking you guys to go buy the book or anything, but this book has helped change my perspective on life. It's called The Principles and Power of Vision by Dr. Miles Monroe. And the book talks about sight. But sight is just what you see. Vision is what you have in your heart. It reminds me of my book, Make It Happen. My first rule, it says, find your will. Then your will is your passion. That thing you're willing to do more than anything else in the world. Some people say it's rap music. Some people say it's a doctor, a lawyer. I met a kid named Langston, 13 years old, who says, I play video games all day. I can make better video games than the games that I'm playing. But I don't want to just make games. I want to own a company and create all kinds of applications. That's vision. Dr. Monroe went on to say, it's the vision of flight that inspired the Wright brothers to invent the airplane. It was the vision of light that possessed Thomas Edison to invent the light bulb. It was the vision of the desktop computer that motivated Steve Jobs to reinvent the world. It was the vision of every person having access to people-friendly software that gave Bill Gates the opportunity to build Microsoft. It was the vision of Russell Simmons to create a logo that captured what was happening on the street and record it and take it to America. Clearly, their vision was their energy and their purpose. All of these men had dreams. All of these men had vision. All of them worked hard. All of them failed. All of them were told by a friend, a former business owner, by a cousin, a family member, that you are crazy, that you will fail, that it's not possible to do what you're doing. I remember when I graduated from high school, I said, Mom, all I want to do is make $30,000 and have a car and a house. She said, why is that all you want? She said, say this, Kevin, say this. I believe in myself, therefore I am what I believe myself to be. I want to make sure I summarize my life in like 2 minutes. In 1968, I grew up, pre-rap music. Baltimore, Maryland, B-More, whatever you want to call it. Out of the 74 friends that I had, 3 of them are alive today. Out of 7, 3 of them are alive today. I graduated high school on a scholarship for NASA to do electrical engineering. How did I end up as the president and CEO of Def Jam? I think about that to this day. I sold 18 million copies of a record that I wrote, one of the biggest records in the world. After 3 years at Def Jam, I started in 91. In 93, they hired me. I worked 2 years for free as an intern. In 96, they asked me to be the president of the company. I turned it down because I didn't feel I was ready. In 98, they asked me again. In 99, we sold the company for $140 million. And people say it's not possible. I'm no different than you. Everybody has dreams. You might think you have a dream and you might have a vision, but I want to make sure you understand that sometimes what you think you're really here for is not the real thing. So I played football in high school. 10th grade, All-American. You couldn't tell me I wasn't the best football player. Until one day, I got hit so hard that I realized football was a hobby. I realized that I could not take what was going on that field, and I had to leave it alone. And some of you are corner rappers. Some of you are shower singers. Everybody's not meant to be a singer, a rapper, a football player, basketball player. Sometimes you have to take it in your mind and say, maybe, Shaquille O'Neal said this to me, Ted, I make $100 million. But guess what? Somebody wrote that check to me. I want to eventually be that person to write that $100 million check.